It's time for the Daily Stand Up Podcast presented by Agile Dad with your host, Lee Henson. Without any further ado, let's get started. All right. So, for our first Friday Agile, Not So Agile episode of 2023, I thought it'd be fun to talk about 5 ways that you can help make sure that if you made some New Year's resolutions, how are you going to make those stick? So I thought I'd start off with just 5 tips to help you learn how to stick to your goals. Now, this is interesting because I'm doing it for New Year's, but it doesn't mean that it only applies to New Year's. You can do this anytime. So here are those 5 tips. Number one, you should start with small goals. I know a lot of people shoot for the moon, and it's great, if you're that type of person. But what I can tell you is the majority of us are not that type of person. We need to take small incremental steps and make small goals that are easily achievable so that we can earn a notch on our belt so that we can continue to see progress. And then once we see progress, it's going to be a lot easier for us to say, hey, we can actually make that goal because progress towards a goal counts as meeting or moving towards where we need to be. So motivation starts with small things, not with large things. All right. Number two, we need to find a way to make our goals measurable. So, in order for your goal to be attainable, it needs to be something you can measure. For example, don't try to say, I'm going to exercise 7 days a week. That's not attainable, right? And it's something you can measure, but it's not, maybe you will exercise. You'll get up and walk for 30 seconds. But the point I'm trying to make is make it something that's concrete and measurable. I'm going to do my best to go to bed 30 minutes earlier and no later than this time each workday. Or I'm going to set a goal to lose 2 pounds a week or 1 pound a week. And those are measurable goals, things that are easy for you to measure, things that are achievable, and things that will help you get success. Now, whether it's about food intake, or whether it's about exercise, whether it's about sleeping better, whether it's about breaking a habit, always start small and always make it measurable. All right, number three, and this ties right into where we were, be realistic with your goal. You know, I use this one all the time because it's true. I had a young lady who told me I figured out what my life's dream is. I said, "What's that?" She goes, "I want to become an astronaut." I'm like, "Outstanding. Well, what steps are you taking to get there? What is your path?" And she says, "Well," she says, "I built a vision board." I said, "That's good." She says, "But," she says, "I just realized that I'm afraid of heights and I get motion sickness real easy." What is your plan B? Was my next question, right? You can't set unrealistic goals. The truth is, I'm never going to run under a 4 minute mile. It won't happen. I don't care how hard I train, it's not going to happen. My body is just not built to do that. We need to set our goals to be realistic with our lifestyle, with the things we're trying to achieve. And we need to be honest with ourselves and say, hey, is this something that's a chasm that we're never going to be able to cross? Or is this a goal that's within our reach and something that we can? And I have nothing against people trying to set a goal to run under a 4 minute mile. I mean, more power to you if you've got that kind of body and that kind of physique. But this little guy here is not going to make that happen, right? Just saying, won't happen. So make sure you're realistic with your goals. All right, so recap quick. Number one was for us to start with small goals. Number two is to make it something that's easily measurable. Number three is to be realistic with what we're trying to do. Number four, formulate a plan. Make sure you have a plan for what you're trying to do and how you're going to go about doing it. Make sure you've drawn out with that vision of how you're going to do it and take steps towards execution of that vision. You need to have a plan in order to achieve a plan. And then finally, number five, and it can be an agile plan. I just want to make sure I point that out, small incremental achievements. And then number five, no matter what happens, stay positive. I remember that there was a young lady who I was talking to for quite some time who was a student of mine, and she set these great incremental goals. But anytime she missed one or something happened, she would get completely upset, and it was a huge setback. And it was almost like one step forward, 3 steps back. And when I explained to her that you can't keep doing that, that in order for your company to be successful, and in order for you to have success in your career, that you need to look at it as, a first attempt in learning, not a failure. Ah, do you see what I did there? First attempt in learning. And you need to address those and say, what are we going to do to make it better next time? And you need to stay positive. No matter what it is, you need to stay positive. I'm going to make the best of this. We're going to make the best of this. We're going to push forward. We're going to work together and we're going to make some magic happen. And I think that if you can get into that mentality, it's going to make your days and your weeks and your goals much more achievable. It's going to make your life much more exciting and it's going to help you get to exactly where you need to be. That's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have an amazing weekend. And until next Monday, when we're agile again, I encourage you to stay healthy, stay well, and stay agile, my friends. Until next time, do take care.